Good evening, everyone. Today's date is Saturday, March 21st, 2026, and we have a few topics to discuss. This evening, we are going to discuss the low and severe weather risk over the next couple of days, the snow potential across areas in the northern half of the country, and then finally, the overall pattern we could expect over the next week or two. For tomorrow on Sunday, March 22nd, we have a slight risk starting into parts of the Ohio Valley and extending all the way into portions of the Mid-Atlantic. We have a 2% tornado risk for tomorrow, along with a 15% wind risk in the yellow color and a 5% wind risk in the brown color. Finally, we have a 15% hail risk in the yellow color, and the hatched area indicates a level 1 out of 2 intensity risk, along with the 5% hail risk in the brown color. Storms should start to develop around 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time across areas into Pennsylvania and even into Ohio. Then as we get into about 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow on Sunday, we could see some more storms starting to kind of develop along this sagging boundary that will continue to pretty much push south throughout much of the day. Then as we get further into about 10, 11, and even 12 a.m. tomorrow night into early Monday morning, we could see even more storms begin to kind of cluster up into more of a line, really a messy line of storms that will sag south into 1 or 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Monday morning. And as we get to about 4, 5, and even 6 a.m. Monday morning, most of these storms should have lost most of their intensity, and some heavy rain could still linger throughout the early morning hours as we get into Monday, and then further into Monday as we get to about lunchtime. Most of those storms should be about out of the way, and maybe some showers lingering into southeast Virginia or northeast North Carolina. For Monday, March 23rd, we have a marginal risk across areas in the southeast. On Monday, most of the storms shouldn't start to develop until at least 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time across parts of North Carolina. And as we get into about 4 and 5 p.m., you can see some more coverage across areas of Georgia and South Carolina. And as we get to maybe 7, 8, 9 p.m., storms moving through Georgia and into southern South Carolina. These will probably be pretty strong to severe, and those will continue to move south throughout the night. And then as we get to really early Tuesday morning, most of these storms should have lost most of their intensity, and some rain showers could continue to move southward into Georgia and even into Florida by Tuesday morning. Now switching from severe weather to snow. So as we get into early tomorrow morning, you could see some moderate to heavy snow falling into portions of the Northeast. And as we go further into the day on Sunday, still moderate to heavy snow falling into portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and especially into Maine. And as we go to about 5 and 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, most of that should begin to taper off with the remainder of that snow falling into Maine. Then as we go into about 8 and 9 a.m. Monday morning, you could see some more back end snow with this system moving out, and plenty of cold air in place up here in the Northeast. So you could see some snow on and off throughout the day. Parts of northern Vermont and eastern New Hampshire could easily see over 7, 8 inches of snow, and especially into northeastern New Hampshire and western Maine, those areas could easily see over a foot of snow. Taking a look at the Pacific Northwest, as we get into about Tuesday afternoon and evening, a storm system could start to move in across these areas and deliver some snow, especially into Washington State. And as we go further into Tuesday, even more snow to some of these areas, and even into Montana and Idaho as well as we get into Wednesday afternoon. But as we go into Monday night and into early Tuesday morning, you could see some snow across parts of Wisconsin and into Michigan. And then as we get further into Tuesday night, another kind of clipper-like system could move in and deliver more snow into northern Minnesota and into Wisconsin as well, into the UP of Michigan, and Michigan as well could see some snow as we go into Wednesday afternoon, and that may eventually transition to rain by Wednesday night. Finally, taking a look at the overall pattern with the GFS weather model. So really things are going to remain pretty quiet other than the rain chances across portions of the Mid-Atlantic as we go into a Monday. Then after that, still have some snow chances across the Northeast and North Central U.S. as well as the Pacific Northwest, as we talked about earlier. Then as we go to about Tuesday and a Wednesday, still not a whole lot besides, once again, the rain chances along with the snow chances across the northern sections of the country. And later this week into this weekend, maybe another system could kind of move through into the central and eastern U.S. that could potentially deliver some snow there into portions of the Ohio Valley. And as we get into this weekend, still rain chances across the southeast along with the south central U.S. Other than that, things remain pretty quiet. Finally, just taking a quick look at our 500 millibar height anomalies, and this allows us to see the ridging across the western U.S. and troughing across parts of the eastern U.S. But as we get to about midweek, we have this ridge remaining across much of the western U.S. That'll once again bring well above average temperatures across much of this area into the country. Then once again, we could see a little bit of a tick below average once we could see maybe a trough try to dig in further into the Ohio Valley, into the north central U.S. and northeast as we go into about Friday, and then even into Saturday as well. That lingers around there and keeps the northeast pretty cool, but the western U.S. and parts of the central U.S. remain well above average with temperatures. And once again, going into this weekend, that ridge continues to kind of build up further into the central U.S., even into Canada here, and that will once again let the above average temperatures stay around, and the troughing into the northeast starts to lift as we go into early next week. Well, that'll wrap things up for tonight's forecast. I appreciate all of y'all watching, and I hope y'all have a great weekend.